Hi friends. Many people, especially when they want to be in the business, they want to start off a business, and if they are asked, who is your role model for a business? Many Indians will say, Ambani is my role model. But when they are asked about who is a successful role model with people outside India and people who are inside India as successful business people, they will say Narayana Murthy, the Infosys Narayana Murthy, right? He is called as one of the successful businessmen. What is the difference between the two? The difference is the way people handle social issues, the way they not only tackle the business from the material side, not from the financial side alone, but how they respond to common causes of the economy. So, how they listen or how they have empathy in them. These are all the qualities that give them an intrinsic success called a success factor as such. This is called the emotional quotient, the EQ, what we call, right? This emotional quotient is kind of inbred in us and it's ingrained in us right from our early childhood days. And in fact, they say when we are a child and we find somebody, one child within a whole class, somebody who has got a high EQ in the class, if you find him, he will be alone and he will not have the common traits as the other people who are running around, who are so very enthusiastic, highly energetic and all that. He will have his own world, he will be in his own world. So those kind of people, when you test them, they will have high kind of EQ. Not all, but most of the EQ people have this behavior in them. And as we grow up, what happens is we develop our own labels for ourselves. We think this is what I am, this is how I am, this is how I will react. All these kind of labels we get into, and that when there is a threat to it, we act differently. This kind of labeling is called an EQ part as well, and it's called an emotional quotient, which is very, very vital, which was not considered as a success factor at all in olden days. But now they have done a lot of research and they found IQ, apart from IQ, even though a person has got high IQ, EQ has to be developed in them to become very successful. You know, if you can remember, in 2002, Sourav Ganguly in the Lord's Stadium, he removed his t-shirt, which was never ever happened in such kind of a sportsman, right? You can never expect Ganguly kind of a sportsman to be like that, but he did that. And in 1998, I think, Mike Tyson, when he was in his bout fighting with opponent, he bit his ear. He knows fully well he's going to be disqualified. Not once, he did it twice in the same match. Then when they later settle back and think of what all happened, they will feel bad for that, right? Many times it happens, no? Our own self we have, right? Sometimes we just blurt out certain things in an impulsive mode, and then we start thinking, oh, why did I do this kind of an action? Why did I do this kind of thing, right? So why did I react so violently? Or why did I get angry because of this? So these are all constituents of the EQ as well, right? So we should start analyzing ourselves to understand what are all the places we get very, very different kind of an emotion, or what kind of factors that affect us. Sometimes even the situation, looking at some people, certain events when we come across, we act completely differently. This is part of our EQ. You know, simple thing these days, when we know that next 7 days is going to be a lockdown, we start stacking things. Why? It is all ingrained as part of our brain, because as part of evolution, we have been through a different kind of a mode wherein our survival instinct was the first thing that has always been in mind. Next to, along with survival, we need to know how our living can happen. Then apart from that, there was romance. These are the three basic instincts or three basic ingredients which were there in us. And it takes long time for the brain to slowly imbibe other qualities as well. These days we talk about something called neocortex. Neocortex is something which is, it is again something which is related to our brain, but it is going to take another few thousand years before these things are all developed in us and we become full-fledged human being. But until then, this EQ quotient is going to have a major say in our success. So let's build our EQ and become more successful. Thanks for watching.